What's going on, guys? This is your boy Ichi freaking Koate here with another video. And I know I said we were looking for some 25 likes or something like that, but this video, before we start, give me 6 likes. Give me 6 of them. We'll be freaking good. I'll think of something else to make, or you guys can question what you want me to make in the comments below. Today we're about to talk about some opinions in terms of Wang Jinrei's age in Tekken, and also what age he actually is. Let's get to it.
It's calling me, listening to the voice, open my eyes, so many ways to say.
Now, when it comes to Wang Jinrei, let's talk about what was going on before Tekken 7, and even when Tekken 7 was going to eventually come out. So I'm talking about 6 and Tag 2 type stuff, right? I would hear people conversate, or people would tell me as well, Wang Jinrei is too old, or he's like 1,000 and something, or he's 500, or he's 800, when really I'm looking like, maybe it's true. I didn't believe it was true, but I'm like, I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with you necessarily, but that sounds a little iffy and ridiculous. But I also went in the back of my mind and said, Tekken is a world where men can get strong enough to get to the state of weaker versions of the devil in their, in their universe, I guess I should say. So why can't in Tekken maybe a 500-year-old man or 800-year-old man be in good a shape as Wang, or look as good as Wang does? Now that was what was going through my mind right there. I'm like, there's no excuse. I mean, it's Tekken. It's just a game. It's not, for one, it's not real life, and for two, the rules of the game are so crazy already. Why should I believe not so? But actually, when it comes to Tekken, they don't extend things like that, such as the fact that Heihachi has not even reached 90 years old, and there's other characters on this game that might be old, but it seems like they don't have human characters that are just reaching outstanding ages for no reason. So there's no actual concrete belief or evidence for a belief that I should come up and think, well, Wang could be 500. Nah, these people are completely regular. They might have extraordinary powers or be really skilled fighters, but their ages are ordinary. So after I squash that conversation, is like, what age is freaking Wang? Well, let's go back to Tekken 1 when he first had appeared in there. During Tekken 1, his age was 82. So already that slaps down these people that was like, oh, he's 500, oh, he's 800, this man's 1,000, or, oh, Wang's too old to be doing this and that. Crazy, right? Then in Tekken 2, which happened 2 years before, I have, in other Ichi Explains videos, I have talked about the difference in between the King of the Iron Fist tournaments when it comes to the earlier games, 2 years apart. So in Tekken 2, Wang was 84 years old. Now, I really want to more so talk about Tekken 6 because that's the one he died in. And since Tekken 5 happens, in the same, well, the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 5 happens in the same year as the Tournament 6. So during that time, whatever age he was in 6, he was the age in 5, which he was 105. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's too old to be able to fight, because the people who used that logic were like, he's hundreds of years old, 200, 300, even some people said 800, that I have heard them say before, but that's crazy. I'm not saying that in this game's universe is not possible, but there's no other evidence from any other characters that are humans in this game that should prove that. But yeah, he was 105 during Tekken 6. Now, you can still argue maybe he's too old, but assuming how Wang lived his life, which He's a really skilled martial artist, and I don't think Wang would be the person that would abuse his body. I think that he'd be able to fight back. And one thing that's crazy in martial arts is when you find the younger people who are stronger, could be physically stronger than the older people, but the older people are masters. What they do, instead of overpowering you with their moves, they instead execute their moves with the slightest bit of precision. And that's when it's like, no matter how strong you are, skill is what matters. Skill. It's all about skill. Like, Wang probably wasn't a freaking Bubzoo. And plus, Tekken has it incorporates a multitude of martial arts. So any martial arts that has anything to do with chi should also be looked at in this area as, maybe Wang increasing his chi in his body, stuff like that, made him a more agile old man in his age, and he was able to move like that, which this isn't something that's untrue for people in real life, in terms of people who are like Shaolin monks, for example. And I'm talking about people who literally like fight and raise themselves to fight to be stronger, as opposed to people who might be old people and they're just getting in Tai Chi or something like that. Them versus a Shaolin monk is completely different, even though the concept of chi is still there, is at a completely different level. But anyway, I wouldn't want to say Wang wouldn't be able to fight, but I would say he was nearing death, because it's not, during our times, it's not normally natural for a human being to be that old and, not be near death or dead. But, there are people in real life that are 100, have been they've lived long enough to be like 120 or 100 in general, 102, 110. You may not see them walking around everywhere. I've even seen it where a person has lived to be that old and they don't need a cane, they don't need a wheelchair. But that's because the key to surviving in old age is knowing how your body works and what your body reacts to. That will keep you living until you're supposed to die, as opposed to, when you're not supposed to die. What I mean by that is, like when you can eat like the slightest things repeatedly when you're a child. If you don't fix that during old age, you can die. And you need to understand what are the healthiest foods for you to eat, not just universally for humans, but also for your body, because different people's bodies do things differently. And that's really prominent when it comes to people who are fighters or bodybuilders. Certain people's arms might have more leverage in terms of not just because their arms are longer, but because their muscle length their muscles are genetically made different. Like, everything's similar with humans, but there's so many little genetic differences. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Freaking Wang is not factually too old to be fighting, and it's possible for him to live that long. Make sure you guys share, comment, subscribe, and always ping that like button. I'm trying to get 6 likes. Help me out here, guys. Now throw up another video especially if you got suggestions, like leave it in the comments below, whether you just be like, I want to see you do some more Tekken fights, or I want to see the City of fights, or say something about Kingdom Hearts or Dragon Ball Z, what's going on with that. Regardless, put it down in the comments, and I'll probably, most likely, I'm trying to release another video next week, especially if someone gets on it and asks me a question to make a video on it. So yeah, peace, guys.